just us, nobody else. Got something for you, but keep it to yourself. I'm feeling curious, want to explore it. Nothing too serious. Forget the world for a minute. Before we know it, the future's the past. Seize the moment while we're in it. Hold on to each other as long as it lasts. I don't care about forever, 'cause sometimes forever is over so fast. Hush, hush, baby, come in here with me. I want for you to go. No need to worry, there is no hurry to stay. We'll take it slow.
Nice.
Next hole.
The 2K Sports pregame show.
Good evening, everybody. Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Great to have you with us on 2K Sports. Our game tonight featuring the New York Knicks as they go up against the Los Angeles Lakers at Staples Center. Looking at the Lakers, they've got an opportunity tonight to sweep the season series 2-0. The coaching staff commented that they feel confident coming into this one. And we'll be watching the big man Brook Lopez in action tonight. Seems wherever he takes the floor, you can always count on him to give you about 20. How great is that to have from your starting center, Kenny?
Well, it's dependable points from any position is huge, but from your center position, I think that actually increases because they can draw fouls. Only few positions in the game can actually draw fouls, and the big guys alone.
Well, I like that Lopez doesn't need a lot of touches to get 20 points. That just shows me he's super efficient right there.
Yeah.
Kevin Harlan's got the call, and we will see you later.
K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
It's game time in Los Angeles from the Staples Center. All the crowd ready to go as they look to cheer on the Lakers. Hi, everyone. Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, our Hall of Fame sideline reporter David Aldridge. And a great surprise tonight. Our surprise guest will be in the booth calling the game with us tonight, folks. We have Laker legend, 18-time NBA All-Star Kobe Bryant here at the table. Kobe, thanks for stopping by.
No, thank you. It's a pleasure to see all of you, and thank you for having me.
Looking at the last game for the New York Knicks, it was a win against the Jazz in Utah. And just a 2-point win there. They had to fight tooth and nail for it.
And when you shoot a high percentage from distance, that gives you momentum and really keeps the opponent on the ropes.
The other thing it does, Greg, it opens up the floor, right? The other team had zero answer for their outside shooting in that one.
And nothing tips off a broadcast like getting the lowdown from the sidelines. And we've got David Aldridge there for that. David, good evening.
Well, guys, Luke Walton played 10 seasons in the NBA, but it wasn't until near the end in 2011 that he started to consider coaching. Walton says, "I never thought about it until I hurt my back." Now, while he was out of action, Phil Jackson invited him to sit in on the coaches' meetings. Walton said, "I realized that I liked that side of the game." And Kevin, he succeeded Phil Jackson as head coach of the Lakers. Back to you.
It definitely did, David. He won titles when he played for the Lakers. Now he'll try to bring that winning mindset back to L.A. You know, Kobe, the league seems to be moving away from isolation basketball, sometimes called hero ball, in favor of more ball movement, more of a fluid offense. What do you make of that trend?
Well, I think it's the right thing. I mean, if you look at the way the Knicks played, for example, when they had Bill Bradley, Busher, Phil was coming off the bench.
Well, you are a historian. You love the history of the game, don't you?
Oh, my God.
I mean, I can just tell working with you.
Yeah. Holtzman was coaching. You had Frazier out there. I mean, they moved the ball. I mean, everything was predicated on ball movement, as was the Celtics with Brett Auerbach. And then in the 80s, things changed a little bit. You start going to more isolation ball, where guys would post deep and force the double coverage to come all the way down to them, and then you start moving the ball around. Now you start seeing a spread offense, where the ball's moving again like it was when the Knicks were playing and the Celtics were playing. And so, I think it just depends on the style of defense that you're seeing and the personnel that you have. I think that determines your style of play.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. And New York, looking at who they've got. We've got Lee. Porzingis is out there with Enes Kanter. Then it's Jarrett Jack, and it's Thomas in at the 3 slot. And over the course of your career, Kobe, 5 NBA championships. Are there any of those that really stand out among the 5 that you accumulated?
The last one, beating the Celtics. That was the hardest one by far to get.
Why so?
Well, we're going into Boston now with the series tied 1-1, and Boston is absolutely excited about having this split and going home now and having 3 games at home, thinking that the series was not going to come back to LA. And so that was an interesting playing flight for us, and then to go out and get the very next game, just to go down 3-2, coming back to LA, and then to finally pull out that series after being down 15 in the 4th quarter against the Celtics. I get it better than that.
Now here's Ingram, following the miss by Porzingis. Lopez, and he's good on the 3 ball. Lopez has got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. And in the history of the NBA, only a handful of players have lasted 20 seasons. Kobe, you played all 20 with the Los Angeles Lakers, an NBA record for seasons with one team. What does it mean to just having worn that Laker jersey your entire career?
Well, I mean, it's a huge honor. I've always been a massive Laker fan, even when I was a kid. And so I never dreamed that I'd actually be wearing the golden armor for my NBA career. So to be sitting here right now, having played 20 years, is literally the coolest dream that could have ever happened to any kid. Happened to me.
And I don't know that it'll happen again. The way the league is structured now, money, the free agency, even though you had a chance to leave a couple times, you always chose to stay.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's loyalty is a word that you hear thrown around often. But in this day and age, it's very tough to see in sports because of the cap, because of, the free agency market and so forth and so on. So I've been very, very fortunate to have a great organization and to be able to have played 20 years of my career here.
Now here's Caldwell Pope following the miss by Porzingis. Just over 2.5 minutes played here so far in the first quarter.
Well, he's trying to shoot his way out of this slump, but it's not helping his team. That was an awful quarter.
Well, Kobe, something that's such a huge tool in the NBA and the team's offense is the pick and roll, the screen roll game. You've done it as well as anybody. Just how are the nuances and the attention to detail important to make that play work?
Well, it's really important, but the screen roll today is run differently than it was, say, when Utah was running it with Stockton and Malone. What you're seeing now is more of a spread floor screen roll action where it makes rotations very difficult because you have to rotate off of shooters at a distance.
Right.
So now what you tend to see more teams try to down pick and roll coverages and sending guys to one side of the floor and try to play the screen roll coverage with 2 men and try to not have 3 guys in the action where you have to rotate and now push your team behind. Right? And that it's a dance of, can you play the screen roll with just 2 guys? And on offense, can I force you to have a 3rd guy come in and rotate? If I can do that offensively, then you're behind.
And that one's good. Ingram. Talk, Kobe, about some of the great one-on-one scores. You might be the best ever, actually. But when you take a look at the crop now, who are some good guys in that one-on-one category that you like?
Kyrie's sensational.
Yeah, great handle. How about his handle? Like one of the best ever made.
Yeah, but he can post too, though.
No,
I mean,
right.
that's the thing is he can post up. He can turn left shoulder. He can turn right shoulder. He can shoot a left-hand jump hook coming across the middle. He can pull up going left. He can pull up going right. He can attack off the handle. Mm-hmm. He can attack off a triple threat. Mm-hmm. He's built the game without any weaknesses. I think most players, should be thankful that he's not 6'6".
You're right, because he'd be Kobe Bryant then, right? He'd be Kobe Bryant. But I always thought that, and his dad played big-time college basketball, played in Australia. Your dad played. I mean, there is something inherent, regardless of how much, that comes from the son of a pro player.
Growing up overseas as well.
Exactly, in Australia.
Growing up overseas as well. And
exactly.
You look at his game being so fundamentally sound and having the basic structure. There's a lot to be said for that.
Absolutely. And here in the first quarter, with a little over 3.5 minutes played, Lakers working the ball around now. Randall with the bucket. Some say, Kobe, that the shooting guard crop in the NBA right now, a little light in terms of depth, not quite as many top 2 guards as we used to see play the game. Who do you like among some of the 2 guards you see now in the NBA?
Well, it depends who we're considering the 2 guard.
Right,
now,
because they just blend,
2s,
don't they?
the 3s, they all just blend.
Combo guards are playing some forward position. It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah. So, shooting guards to me are guards that have to do everything. You have to be able to play the post. You have to be able to play the perimeter. You have to be able to play the point. You have to do everything. So I'll put Russell Westbrook in that category. I'll put James Harden in that category. I'll put Kawhi Leonard in that category. There's a lot of players I'm forgetting. Even Giannis, I would say, is 2 guard because of what he does.
Yes.
So there's a lot of talented guards out there.
Did you like the ball in your hand, bringing it up, or would you have rather someone else bring it up, then get it to you in the half court, and then do what you did?
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm jealous about Michael. Because Michael didn't have to do that. He had Pippen.
Well, yes, right. Who always brought it up.
Yeah, so he could focus on coming off the screens and catching and shooting. He didn't have to think about facilitating first. He could think about scoring and then passing out of double teams.
And Kobe, you talked about coming off screen. Some guys come off a screen and kind of just lollygag. You came off and you pass the ball and then get back at it again. Yeah,
efficient.
Explode off those screens.
Angles, right?
Yes.
You got to be able to read those things. And when you're catching, you're in attack mode all the time. Because then it's demoralizing to the defense.
I'm sure it is.
Because you're always on.
Yeah.
You're always looking. You're always checking. You're always in fear that he's going to attack. So, yeah, we always try to keep our foot in the gas.
Always.
Or foot in the throat.
Yeah. And it's tied up with that one.
So the 4th pick of the 2015 draft class, who some said was picked too high, Porzingis. Good job silencing the critics.
And with all the different technological advances in the league, you see a lot of player and coaches now reviewing clips and tablets and a lot of film sessions. I know you used to study a lot of the league's videotapes. How much easier is film study now, say, from the time in the late 90s when you got in the NBA?
It's so much easier.
Really?
Oh, my God. When I used to get in the hotel rooms, you used to have to call the front desk. And they used to roll up the TV on the wheels.
With the VCR machine.
With the VCR connected to it, right? And I have to have all of these tapes. And you got to put the tape in, and you got to rewind it, and you got to fast forward it, and rewind it.
Yeah.
Now it's just everything's right there in front of you, right? And it's very easy to skip and go to the next game and then jump back to the game before or fast forward to the 4th quarter. I mean, it's so easy now.
And he's starting to show that killer instinct this quarter, looking to extend the lead.
Here's Caldwell Pope, and so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2. Kobe, that fadeaway jump shot here is such a foundational part of your game. What's the key to that particular shot, and who's carrying the torch for that shot now?
Well, yeah, the fadeaway is there's different ways to shoot the fadeaway. There's a Hakeem Olajuwon way of shooting the fadeaway. There's a Michael way of shooting the fadeaway.
Oscar used to do it, and I know you.
Oscar used to do it quite a bit. So I try to use bits and pieces from each, depending on the defender that I'm facing. But yeah, there's certain players that are carrying that shot now. LeBron shoots the fadeaway quite often, as does KD. He shoots it a lot. Clay will shoot it. Kawhi will shoot it quite a bit off the pull-up jumpers and things of that sort. So there are a lot of players doing it.
Yeah, much improved foul shooter. KCP also starting to get to the line at a higher rate.
So he gets them both. And Kobe, how did you learn to watch tape? Because there are guys now watching tape and they'll just go, and you wonder if it's really even sinking in.
Trial and error.
Yeah, right. But really, that was it.
Trial and error. You start looking at things, you start saying, man, like if I'm watching an edit on a player and I watch one particular game and then I look at the next game and he's doing the same thing. And the next night, he's doing the same thing. Hold on, let me go back and watch. And then you start looking for consistent behaviors or patterns in their behavior. And then you think, okay, maybe that's something that's a tendency for him. Let me go back and check. 2 dribbles, turn. 2 dribbles, turn. 2 dribbles, turn. 2 dribbles, turn. 2 dribbles. Oh, my God. Yeah,
there it is. There's the pattern.
Right, so what if I interrupt him between his first and second dribble and throw him off a rhythm? What'll happen then? Right? What if I know he's going to go 1-2, turn right shoulder? I let him go 1-2. Now I jump to his right shoulder. Now you can't turn there. What happens then? Right? You throw them off of their patterns.
And a nice job here early of establishing an inside presence.
Kobe, a big part of the talent evaluation today is the psychological impact and that aspect, which I think will lead teams toward one prospect over another. If you were looking for personality traits in players and you were making that decision for a team, what trait would you value the most in a player?
Oh, curiosity. Without a shadow of a doubt, it's curiosity.
Why so?
Because curious people will always ask why things work or don't work.
And you were a big why asker.
You have to, because that's the only reason you win, is when you can figure out why things happen or didn't happen. Right? If you lose a game, a curious person will point the finger. A curious person will say, well, why did we lose? You know, instead of just saying them. Right. They're going to go back and check the film and ask questions. Okay, why did we mess up there? Why did we blow that coverage there?
So last season, Kobe, one of the closest MVP races we've had in a long time, came down to Westbrook and Harden. Who did you think was going to win before the results came out, and why?
Yeah, I didn't even stop to think about that because they're both like little brothers to me. So even though I could sit there and say,
LA
okay,
kids too.
Yeah, I know them both extremely well, and they're both extremely deserving of it. So I've refused to split it.
Yeah,
you know, they're both my guys.
And different kinds of games, and both sensational individual players.
Yeah, they're just phenomenal. I mean, they can do so many things in the game, and now I think the next progression for them is to be able to dominate the game off the ball just as much as they can dominate on the ball, right? Because in the playoffs, the defense has a hard time finding it.
And to have the ball in your hands at all times, always bringing it up. It's exhausting, though, right? That's what they say.
But
now,
they see you. The defense sees you, right?
Yeah.
So if you're handling the ball, the defense has eyes on you at all times. You're here. You're right in front of the defense. When you don't have the ball, you're moving behind them. Curry moves behind. He'll bring it up, pass it, and now he's running off the screens behind the defense, right? And it's hard to find him.
Rip Hamilton the same way when he played.
Same way.
I know.
Jordan, flare picks, down screens, slicing into the post, right? Coming up to the pinch post. And all those operational things take place behind the view of the defense.
A platoon swap here for the Lakers. Kobe, you're a father. You've enjoyed that process, but basketball got in the way a lot of it. How do you balance fatherhood and playing at the level you played at?
Yeah, when I was winning championships there, our kids were still relatively young, or I should say babies. In my last few years, they were older and knew they could really feel my absence. And so what I try to do is try to bring them along for the process. So there were mornings I would wake them up and say, let's go. So we're going. Well, Daddy's going to go train, so let's go.
No kidding.
And I bring them with me. And they'd be in the gym shooting around or kicking a soccer ball around or hitting a volleyball around. But I felt like it was important as a father to not just tell them about hard work, but they need to see what I'm doing. When you're sleeping, this is what I'm doing here for 3 hours. And so they're a part of the process and feel connected to the process. But traveling and things of that nature is very, very hard because there's been plenty of birthdays that I've missed and school plays that I've missed.
Traveling was a part of your job, a part of mine. You missed some things with the kids, but I know you take pride, Kobe, in the fact that you made it to a lot of things as well. You were not an absent parent.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's I having a great partner. I mean, my wife has been absolutely amazing, which I think is extremely important as well, because she really held down the fort at home, which to me is the toughest job in the world to do. I have it easy in terms of going out there and playing games, but to have the responsibility of actually raising young people to be outstanding citizens. You talk about pressure. I mean, that's I have to ask her how she feels about handling that. You know what I mean? Because that's true pressure.
And both free throws good for Clarkson. The Knicks leading by 7. Kobe, you got to play against some great defenders in the NBA like Draymond Green of Golden State and others. What are some of the things that, I mentioned Draymond Green, that he does as a player that you think separates him from the rest of the defensive guys in the league?
He does his research. He does his homework.
You can tell.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can tell. When you watch him play, he puts himself in position before the offensive player even attacks. And how does he know that? Because he's watched the film. He studies. He knows the player's tendencies. And so when you mix in the research to go along with his frame,
shooting two,
and the quick hands and the foot speed, then you have a defensive player that's a force.
And the first one at the line is good. And both free throws good for Clarkson. Well, Kobe, you look at all the former Defensive Player of the Year, and they're almost always big men. You were a 9-time first-team all-defensive selection in the NBA. Do you think guards sometimes get overlooked at the impact they have in a game and a play?
Yeah, they definitely do.
All the time, huh?
I think the bigs have a huge responsibility in protecting the rim, and those things are very easy to measure.
Right, block shots,
blocks,
and exactly, rebounding,
altering shots or defensive rebounds. For guards, it's tougher. But still in all, there's some guards out there who have done it. You know, Michael and Gary Payton and Kawhi Leonard. I count him as a guard. They're just phenomenal defensive players.
Where does that mindset come from? That defensive mindset when you're an offensive gifted player like yourself?
Well, I think that's a truly competitive person. Some players will call themselves competitive, but you're not truly competitive if you only compete at one end of the floor. That's not what true competitive people do.
Hey, Kobe, after dedicating pretty much your entire life to the game of basketball, a game that I know you love, you said you don't miss it. Why is that?
Well, because I've been through that process. I mean, I started playing the game when I was like 2 years old, and playing professionally for 20 years, and I left no stone unturned. So there's no regrets there. I've done everything I could possibly do, and truthfully, the game is still with me. The discipline has changed. The industry might have changed, but the same approach, the same things that I've learned from the game, I carry with me to this day. So the game is still inside of me.
Lakers trail by 3. Here's Ennis. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one, and that's out of bounds. The Lakers will retain possession. Kobe, you've made no bones about patterning your game after Michael Jordan. You watched him while growing up. Can you give us a little insight into the impact of what he meant to you and how he formed you in some ways?
Sure. Well, I think most players growing up, at least my generation, probably watched him play and saw all of the fancy plays, the dunks, the highlights, and things of that nature. What I focused on was how he got there, the moves, the timing, the fundamentals, the spacing, the rhythm. That's what I studied meticulously, and so when I watched him play, I think I watched him play a little differently than others. Having not gone to college and all these other things, growing up overseas, I had to learn the fundamentals by watching and observing the greats, and to the most minute detail.
Here's Ennis. Michael Beasley picking up that last basket, and the ball goes out of bounds. Nice touch by Beasley. 1:35 left in the first quarter of the game. Ennis kicks to Clarkson.
And they've done a nice job controlling the defensive backboard to start this game.
Well, he continues to have trouble with his shot, well below 50% from the field in this period.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
McDermott with the double team. Tipped away. And a fast break now for the Knicks. Here's O'Quinn, and that basket pushes the lead to double digits. And now it's an 11-point Knicks lead. The Lakers shooting pretty efficiently out there. It is in 48% in the first quarter. Pass to Hart. Ennis kicks to Nance. It's good. The assist that time from Ennis. Nance has got his first bucket in this one.
And those are the kind of nice inside looks they've gotten here in the first half.
You don't necessarily have to be explosive. For O'Quinn there with the solid frame, it's about being smart and drawing contact.
The Knicks shooting their third and fourth free throw shots of the night. And he makes the first.
What we have watched these first few seasons of his career is a steady improvement at the line for O'Quinn. He is showing he can knock them down consistently.
Baker, he's checked in for the Knicks. And so O'Quinn nails both of them. 43 seconds left here in the first quarter. Ennis with the ball. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Right wing. Four on the clock. Clarkson kicks to Ennis from deep three-point range. Back to Clarkson. He dishes it to Ennis. Pass to Nance. Tries yet again. That shot misses.
Not the kind of strong finish it should have been. Something threw him off.
Here's O'Quinn. He knocks it down, but wait a minute. The officials are getting together. They may want to review this one. And indeed, they're going to look at it again. They need to be certain he beat the buzzer.
And a chance here to just double-check the ruling on the floor. I wasn't sure if he got it off in time or not, so I appreciate the second look as well.
They're going to switch the call. There is no doubt, and looking at the replay, that he got it off in time.
Well, it's good they decided to take another look at it. I know some folks don't like how replay slows the game down and interrupts the flow, but when you have it there, you got to use it.
And so it's the New York Knicks. 13 points up at the end of the period. Their strategy has been clear tonight. Work the ball inside, get shots in the paint, and now they are scoring with ease. Back right after this. And welcome back. It's been all one-sided so far through the first quarter as our second quarter gets underway. And the Knicks guys have been rolling right along here, haven't they?
Through that first one, they've turned this thing into a track meet.
I'll tell you, they've simply been more assertive in the open floor. They're leaking out early, converting with confidence.
New York leading by 13. Hey, Kobe, in recent years, we've seen a lot of players choosing in free agency to join up, join forces, join friends, other talented players. You know, think of Durant and Golden State, the big three with LeBron going down to Miami. What are your thoughts on that trend?
Well, you know, everybody's got to do what they feel is best for them. You know, personally, it wasn't really my cup of tea. You know, I'd much rather compete against those guys and do it that way. You know, if winning in LA wasn't going to happen, then it just wasn't going to happen. Mm-hmm. You know, I wasn't going to leave and go someplace else and join forces to try to win a championship.
How about recruiting players like, say, hey, come to the Lakers and you and I can do something special here?
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's fine. I mean, that happens. Right? Players talk to each other and you want to play with each other. But it never crossed my mind to try to recruit another top player that I'm competing against.
Interesting.
You know, like never. Like I've always wanted to compete against them. So that's a little strange to me.
Here are the five New York has to start here in the second. Tim Hardaway Jr. out there with Beasley. Then there's Kyle O'Quinn, and it's Baker in at the shooting guard position. And you think, Kobe, of these super teams, it's like they need backup. Like a buddy, like walking down the hall in high school with the bigger guy, right? I don't sense you ever...
No, but it's like, you know, growing up, I watched Magic and Michael go at it.
Yeah.
I watched Magic and Bird go at it. I don't want to see them play together.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't want to see that.
Right.
Like, what would my childhood be if Magic and Bird played on the same team? What would we be watching?
Magic's Lakers, Jordan's Bulls,
I mean,
Bird's Celtics.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, and even for Michael.
So-and-so.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask Larry, you ask Magic, you ask Michael, they much rather compete against each other, right? Because you bring out the best in each other. They would have won every single championship from now until the day they retire if they played together, right? But that's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is the competition of it.
And your team.
Yes.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots. And the trend around the league, Kobe, is more offense, more three-pointers, certainly spacing, fluid offense. Scoring is up around the league in a measurable way from, it seems like, year to year. Do you like the way this is trending, or do you think the NBA should maybe put a governor on this, harness it in just a little bit?
Well, I think it'll swing back to the way, I mean.
Do you?
Yeah, because the game has gone through that progression before. You know, it's constantly evolving. And so I think you'll see it swing back eventually. You'll have a couple teams that are just big and may have a dominant post player, and all of a sudden you're going inside, and then that team will win a championship, and then the rest of the teams in the league will try to copycat the way the game is played that way. Then things will swing back. So it's just natural evolution of the game, I think.
Yeah, nothing too flashy there, but O'Quinn certainly able to punch it down with authority because he is a big body.
And Kobe, did the Laker front office ever talk to you or just brush an idea past you to get your opinion on things, whether it be a trade or a free agent signing or whatever?
No, we never really did that. We never had that kind of working relationship. And I think it's actually better that way because then it enables me to have a better relationship with the guys where they know I'm not involved in those decisions. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because if so, it makes it weird. In that relationship, guys get traded, and teammates are looking at you, and it's hard for them to trust you and all sort of stuff. The most conversation I had was with Dr. Buss in this very shaky time.
Yes.
Where I voiced my concerns, and he said, listen, I promise you, we see the right trade, we will pull the trigger, and I'm going to do everything I can to get you a championship. I promise you that. And after he said that, I trusted him completely. That was that. And then the following year, he made a beautiful trade for Pau Gasol.
He sure did. And a couple championships. Worked out well.
Yeah, it did.
And the Lakers call time here. They defeated Indiana in their last game.
And how about the effort that they put forth in that game, playing just lockdown D?
Well, you know what they say, defense wins championships, and they made a huge effort to shut them down.
So both teams making some changes here. Well, it seems like with more threes and more skill-based play, the league is adapting more of a European style of play. You grew up in Italy, Kobe. You know about that style. You appreciated that style. How did that impact your personal development as a player?
Well, tremendously. I mean, if you look at the era in which I grew up in Italy, you look at the players that came out of there, whether it's myself, Pau Gasol, Manu Ginobili. I mean, there's a lot of players that grew up in that same time frame that play the game fundamentally sound because I think all the coaches here in America were doing camps and clinics for coaches overseas.
Like Hubie Brown, right?
Exactly.
He would always go overseas in the summer. Yeah.
Exactly. And so we were products of that teaching. So all of our coaches growing up were implementing the fundamentals and the basics of the game taught by these amazing American coaches. And so we were kind of fortunate in terms of the time that we grew up.
Kobe, LeBron said he learned so much about how to approach the game when you shared the floor on Team USA. What was it like playing with a guy like him, as you also played with Jordan, and then going up against him all those years?
Well, I think it was a shocking experience for them because I don't think they realized how much I talk trash. So,
no,
yeah,
what?
I don't think they knew because, when you from a distance, you say, Kobe, we thought you were really quiet and all sorts of stuff, and you get to practice and I just don't shut up. And I'm just saying really brutal things about their game. And it's just, they're getting really ticked off. But
yeah, because you were right.
Yeah,
right,
but then the intensity of practice goes up another level. And then we'd all go out to dinner, and then the next morning, we come into the meeting, and I've already been working out for 2 hours. And so then they see that, and then, D. Wade would come up and say, hey, man, I want to join you in your workouts. What time are we going? 5 a.m. He'd be down there working out. Then Brian would say, I want to come too. So Brian would show up, and then Melo would show up. And all slowly but surely, we'd have our whole USA team in the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning.
What a
training.
constructive time, I would think.
Oh,
for those other players.
But it was fun for all of us because we got a chance to hang around each other and think about the competition, right? So now when we come back to the NBA, fans are getting a better product, right? Because we've all been working out and pushing each other and getting better off of each other. So now when we step on the court to compete against each other, that means we have to take our games to another level.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
That's a great story. There's the dish to Randall. Over Kansas. The putback. The rebound by Baker.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Sinks it. And the shot from Porzingis.
When things come together for Porzingis, he can be too much to handle for any defender.
And Kobe, you look around the league and you see a lot of former players as head coaches, guys that you actually played against. Have you ever thought about coaching down the line?
Nope. No, I have not. Not for me. It's for them, though, but it's not for me.
I would think that it would be tough to try to get the same result out of players you coach and not comparing it to the way you play, the way you prepare, the way you were coached.
That's what I hear. I just don't have the desire to even think about it that far. I mean, it's not something that I'm into. But that's the challenges I hear. When Bird was coaching, when Magic was coaching, I always hear that as being the challenge. But ultimately, you have to find different ways to motivate players. And, nobody's the same, right? So you just have to figure out how to get them to their highest level. But still in all, coaching is just not for me.
Timeout called the Lakers.
Yeah, the amount of points they've given up here in the paint, that's what they've got to talk about.
Well, I think they've got to ramp up the pressure. There's no excuse for letting them score at will in the paint. Make them feel you.
We take a look here at the shot chart for the Knicks.
And this is the kind of performance that everyone talks about seeing in person. The way he's attacked the defense with no hesitation. The tough shots he's taken and made, just a masterpiece. When he gets it going, he can put up some big numbers.
Now, here's Ball. He gives his team some nice contributions, averaging a bit over 10 points a game. And a moment now to see nice three-point percentage numbers on this list. A look at the leaderboard showing us the most accurate three-point shooting two men in the league. You look at Lee, a dangerous player from three-point land, a great talent with a great release.
These guys are gunners. I mean, they've got the green light at all times because of their three-point shooting. I mean, they are cash money.
You don't want to get into a three-point contest with any of these players. The range we see among that group is beyond belief. Even against the tightest of coverage, no shot is a bad shot for any of them.
Well, Kobe, more and more front offices around the NBA embracing analytics. At the same time, a lot of veteran executives who have kind of the old-time group have been somewhat critical of that approach. Which side do you take on that?
Well, I mean, I think there's use for analytics. What they do is they tell you what's happening or what's happened. But you still need the keen eye to be able to understand why they happen. And that's what numbers can't tell you.
Put some meaning in back of the numbers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? It's tough to understand if you see a player shooting this percentage. There's the first 5 games of the season, he shot X. The last 3 games, he shot Y. And you don't understand why. The numbers will tell you that. But maybe he had something going on at home that was bothering him emotionally.
Yes.
Right? And therefore his focus was elsewhere. And so his shooting percentage went down. Right? The numbers don't show you that. It doesn't show you the emotion of a player.
Ball dishes to Randall. Caldwell Pope outside. Doubled by Lee. And out of bounds as the Knicks gain possession.
Take a look here at the numbers for Porzingis. He showed up every night and some noteworthy performances over the last month. He's putting up about 21 points per and 7 rebounds. And for any other player putting up those numbers, we'd say they were great, but for him, they're just simply run-of-the-mill.
Agreed. A lot of guys in this league would be very happy with that stat line, but this guy is the real deal. He is built for more.
Kobe, there are a lot of great guards and wings in the league right now. When you look around, are there any that remind you of the way you played or maybe are approaching, going down that road and say, I want to be like Kobe Bryant? I watch a lot of his tapes, much like you did when you were growing up.
Yeah, well, Isaiah has a hunger and a thirst for the game. And he's not going to stop. He's constantly curious. He's constantly
His
working.
size makes him a different kind of guy, though.
Isn't that unbelievable, though?
It is shocking.
That's unbelievable. But he can finish at the rim. He can shoot the long ball. He can pull up left and right. You know, he has great physicality and a great body about him where he can punish bigs at the rim. And the other is Kawhi. I mean, when I watch Kawhi play, I'm just looking in the mirror. You know, the moves, the positions on the floor.
So glad you said that. I feel the same way.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and it's a great, great feeling because, you know, I'm sure Michael felt the same way. Right, when he retired and he watched me play, you're seeing the same spots. You're seeing a person who studied the person that came before, and there's no need to reinvent the wheel when the wheel's already been created. You just put it on a different car.
Well, you know, he has been guided by his coaching staff to watch you and Michael Jordan tape, and I think that's kind of what he's done.
Yeah, well, we've connected. We've talked about this stuff before in the past, and again, he's a curious kid.
And all business.
Yeah, curious. He steps out on the floor. He's all business. Nothing funny. There's nothing silly going on. He's here to do his job, and he's here to help San Antonio win games.
Ingram wide open. Knocked away. And so it looks like the Lakers will retain possession here.
And a moment here to check out the numbers for Ball. 8th in assists, and he's in the top 20 in steals, bringing that focus and intensity at both ends.
And his floor awareness is undeniable. As you pointed out, top 10 in assists, and he's great at drawing the defense and making the perfect pass in stride. The Lakers making a switch here. Nance is checked in. It's hauled in by Thomas.
+8 in the rebound differential. One more reason why they're in control.
And it goes out of bounds. That one off Porzingis. And how is the West shaping up, guys? Well, let's take a moment here to check it out now that the mid-season grind is well underway. And take a look at the Warriors. They've been in peak form as we've watched them play some tremendous basketball with an eye toward the postseason. And checking out the Lakers, just way behind.
And I think for the Lakers, there were fears they'd be one of the NBA's doormats this season. Those fears have turned out to be well-founded.
Yeah, the people who said they hadn't done enough in the offseason to improve this team were exactly right. They never put the foundation of winning in place.
And Kobe, your spectacular high school career at Lower Merion High School in Philadelphia, in that Philadelphia area, paved the way for your NBA career. Talk about some of the highlights of your days in high school.
Well, my days in high school were fun. I mean, I played at a small high school called Lower Merion High School, so not too many people heard of it. You know, when you come to Philadelphia, the schools that you hear of are Overbrook, where Wilt Chamberlain went to school, Bartram, right, where Earl the Pearl Monroe went to school, right? But you never heard of little old Lower Merion High School, right? So it was a huge honor to be able to bring a state championship to Lower Merion and kind of put Lower Merion on the map, and that's the most exciting part about it.
Oh, a terrific story indeed. A huge honor, I'm sure.
And no matter who it is, that kind of deed isn't going to get it done.
He can't hit that time. So Los Angeles will take it the other way. Victory eluded them last time in New York when they took on the Knicks.
And turnovers were the story for them when they saw each other last. I mean, just a heartbreaking way to lose the game.
And Kobe, you've had so many fans from high school that carried over to your NBA days. In the stands now, in fact, you'll see fans with Lower Merion High School jerseys on.
How cool is that?
That's amazing.
How cool is that? You know, to actually be able to see a bunch of Aces jerseys in the crowd when literally nobody knew where Lower Merion was. And there's actually a school called Upper Merion. So everybody used to confuse the two. It's just say, hey, yeah, I saw you when you played at Upper Merion. I say, hold on, dude. No. Lower Merion, man. Get it right. Don't forget it. Lower Merion.
Now, here's Ball. Defended by Jack. Here's Randall. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Randall's got 7 points here in this quarter.
Boy, the score would look a lot different if his teammates could have had the kind of night he's had.
Well, I have to say it's been quite a fun night with you, Kobe, joining our broadcast tonight. Thank you for spending some time with us and our fans. I'm sure they've all enjoyed it.
No, thank you. I've enjoyed it as well, man. It's been an absolute pleasure.
And Doris, you've interviewed and seen Kobe so many times through the years. How different was it hearing him in this broadcast environment?
Well, not surprisingly, his incredible basketball intellect came to bear. This guy has an attention to detail and a passion for the game that maybe is unparalleled.
And out of bounds as the Knicks gain possession.
And that's just carelessness there. I mean, you have got to have your head in the game.
So both teams making some changes here. .36 seconds left in the first half. O'Quinn with it. Hands on him. And the officials call a traveling violation. Lakers shooting 38% in the second quarter. Offensively, they look a little bit confused. Pass to Hart from deep. And the rebound goes to the Knicks.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead. No one to blame on that one but himself. You get looks like that, you've got to take advantage.
Pulls it up. No good with the wing jumper. A big-time effort for Porzingis, providing a lot of energy for New York. With the points he racked up that quarter, he has broken his season-high scoring mark already. And we'll be back with you shortly.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson. This big mountain of a man is Shaquille O'Neal, and this hill of a man is Kenny the Jet Smith. There was no stopping Kristaps Porzingis in the first half. He had a scoring performance for the ages, putting up an enormous amount of points, 3 steals and 1 block. Taking a look at the Knicks, Kenny, what'd you think?
In terms of their offensive performance, that was a very well-played half of basketball. Good ball movement off the ball, hard screens being set, and they found the guy for the open look. That's how they were able to shoot such a tremendous percentage from the field. With that fluid, efficient offense, they'll be tough to catch in the second half.
Shaq, what was your takeaway on the Lakers?
Well, there's no wonder they're getting blown out. No energy, no fight in the rebound battle. Ernie, you got to pick it up. You got to pick it up starting now, or it's going to be impossible to come back. Like the Pythagorean theorem, times 50, times 100, times 50, times 10. Impossible to figure out, Ernie.
And time now to send you back down to the floor with Kevin Harlan. We'll see you later.
And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. And it's been a clinic out there by Kristaps Porzingis.
And how disruptive was he in that first half? I mean, creating havoc, causing turnovers, and really energizing his team.
Well, didn't you get the sense, Greg, that this entire team fed off his energy? His remarkable effort on the defensive end really triggered this group.
Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. Doris, many teams want to push the pace now. I know you like that. Some do it better than others. What's the key, and you've done this in college, to being successful with an up-tempo scheme?
Well, I think obviously, one, you've got to have 3-tool players who are unselfish by nature. 3-tool meaning once you catch the basketball, you are a triple threat. You can pass it, you can score it, you can dribble it. You're able to be a playmaker in every instance because once you allow people to spread the floor, and by that I mean the spacing is, there are 5 guys spread out maybe beyond the three-point line, so the defenders are essentially on an island until a screen comes. You've got to be a triple threat on the catch to be successful in those pace and space systems. You got to be able to shoot it too, Kev. That's the key.
Ball runs point with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to his side. They're the backcourt. Randall is the 4 with Lopez in the middle. And it's Ingram in at the 3. That's the Laker 5. Here's Lopez. Knocks down the 3 ball. Lopez has got 8 points.
And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the triple. 4 of their last 5 makes are from beyond the arc.
Well, that's a strong finish right there. KP not afraid to attack the paint, scored through contact. Woo-hoo!
And Lopez has it in the corner. And again, it's the Lakers from deep.
Man, the triples keep falling, guys. That's 3 in a row.
And Porzingis, here we go.
They barely needed other contributions. This lead has been built through his offense.
Poked away. Now Ball. He's got 8. Clock at 6. And it's Lopez at the elbow. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. Brook Lopez coming over to the Lakers this past summer in a deal for D'Angelo Russell. Strange to see Lopez not in a Nets uniform as he had been with the team so long, but he is someone this Lakers team wanted.
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers saw a strong center to help take this team to the next level. Lopez gives you a lot and doesn't need a lot, so it'll be a big help with the maturing of this young Lakers core.
That free throw, no good.
Well, Brook Lopez was drafted by the Nets. Remember, he played almost a decade there, half in New Jersey, the other half in Brooklyn. And when that team went young, it made sense to move him to a more competitive environment.
And the second free throw, good. And Lopez saw a little of everything with the Nets.
Well, you think about he played...
Oh! Wow.
Wow. Don't sleep on his athleticism now. Porzingis plays well above the rim.
And that replay sponsored by Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment, giving us an excellent perspective on the play. Caldwell Pope with it. He's picked up by Lee. Caldwell Pope kicks to Randall. Here's Ingram. No good on the 3. The Knicks have gone 4 of 7 to get things started here in the second half. And the dunk by Porzingis.
Oh, guys, you have got to love those long strides. KP able to cover some ground on his way to the rim.
Not quite 2.5 minutes played here in the second half. Lopez a screen. Ball, the pass to Caldwell Pope. Lopez kicks to Caldwell Pope. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Caldwell Pope. And a look now at the breakdown between 3-point and 2-point shots attempted here tonight for the Lakers. For New York, they've gotten 5 of 8 shots to fall for them in the third quarter. A nice 62% from the field. For Los Angeles, they've gone 3 of 5 to start the second half, developing a nice rhythm out there. And some very quick points for him on that possession. Caldwell Pope's got 7 points.
And as Caldwell Pope improves his scoring, I think he's got a chance to be special. We know about his defense.
Doesn't go that time.
Boy, what a tough night. Imagine what their lead would be if he were having a better night from the field.
And Julius Randle, that 7th pick back in the 14 draft out of Kentucky, was a 5-star recruit out of high school and was able to help get the Wildcats to the championship round. So this is a guy who is used to the spotlight.
That free throw good from Randall. And Julius Randle with an intriguing game, a great rebounder. He's a pretty good ball handler for his size, too.
Yeah, he likes to rip it and run, and very athletic when he gets ahead of steam, and, boy, he can be tough to contain.
The Knicks making a switch here. Baker's checked in. Both free throws good from Randall. Baker kicks to Porzingis. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. Doris, when you watch Porzingis on the defensive end of the floor, it's just jaw-dropping. The ground he can cover and the way he challenges at the rim can change the way a team chooses to attack him.
I agree, because he provides so much in terms of rim protection and weak side help. It's a huge boost to any defense. This guy can be one of the best shot blockers in the league, does an incredible job switching with his length and speed.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
That free throw good from Porzingis. Doris, you went from the basketball court right to the broadcasting booth. Having seen the game now from an analyst perspective, what might you go back and tell Doris the player?
Yeah, I'd probably tell myself to throw myself completely into the vibe of the team, to never, even if I were struggling as a basketball player, to turn inward. I would always say turn outward to your teammates and invest in what's going on with the group, and then that seems to make everything fall into place.
And mentally, too, I think you've got to prepare and focus like you would as a player when you are broadcasting.
No question about it.
Ball kicks to Randall. Good. Randall's got 17.
And Ball, a terrific distributor. He's got great size at that point guard position.
Oh! You've got to be kidding.
My goodness, that was absolutely filthy.
Nasty. This building is stunned. He dug deep, Greg, into his bag of tricks there. He feeds it to Randall. Now, here's Ball. Defense is right there. And it's Ingram missing.
I'll tell you, his inconsistency not helping their cause at all.
And here's Porzingis for a three. Kept alive by New York. Thomas, no good. Los Angeles has gone 3 of 5 with the long ball since entering the second half. And it's Ball in the corner. His three-pointers off the mark. For New York, they've gone 6 of 14 since halftime. A little cold from the field. Here's Thomas. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. It goes on Brandon Ingram.
Well, how about this guy? Undrafted after winning a national championship in college at Duke, Lance Thomas, one of those classic glue guys.
And Lance Thomas, a bit of a tweener forward. He can fill in at either spot and eat minutes for a team while Doris still giving you solid production at both ends of the floor.
Right. What Lance brings is a guy who can play with his back to the basket or facing up. Decisive with his movements when he has the ball. Consistency, I'd say, is the only issue for him at times.
That free throw good from Thomas. And both free throws good for Thomas. And the Lakers, Greg, for a long time could rely on the lure of Los Angeles to draw top free agents. History does a lot, it seems.
Yeah, Paul George listing them on his short list shows they still have that pull, but the Lakers will be big players in free agency, I believe, in the near future.
Oh, Kev, he's known for his outside marksmanship, but the other side of Lee, aggression at the rim.
Randall dishes the ball. And Courtney Lee gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul. Ingram kicks the ball. Caldwell Pope, and he jams it with authority.
And Ball sets up his teammates, and when they're open, quick to whip it around. One of the best ball movers in the league.
And that bucket adds to what has been a big difference in points in the paint between the two teams.
Ball's knocked loose, and so it looks like the Lakers will retain possession here.
And with the chance, let's take a look now at the numbers for Courtney Lee. He's putting up 13 points a game, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. And this is the kind of strong, steady play you like to see. He's earning his keep and helping them win games.
I think they need more consistency from him, and they're getting it. Look for this to continue. I love it. Boy, that's as wide open as you're going to get. The defense needs to lock in and be better than that.
Yeah, just solid work on the back end of that play.
Yep, you're right. Finished hard with 2 hands on that stuff. And so it's the Lakers with it. And here is Ball. He's got 8. Caldwell Pope kicks to Randall. And Cantor over to help. Randall with the ball. Cantor covering. Ball with a wide open look. Misses the 3.
I'll tell you, his touch has been off all day, and now his judgment is starting to go by the wayside as well. That's a poor shot.
And yep, that's going to be a flagrant foul. Unnecessary contact.
Boy, a very hard foul that time, and the officials had to slap him with the flagrant. I mean, you can't let him get away with that kind of contact.
Yeah, gee, that's an easy call for the officials to make when there's that much contact. The league is really cracking down on those sort of plays. That's good from Cantor. One trend we've seen, Doris, is the shift away from one primary ball handler toward a more collective approach. Do you think that change is here to stay?
Well, it'll be interesting. I do think the NBA is very much a copycat league. So you think back to the 90s and the slowed-down, grinded battles between the Miami Heat and the New York Knicks, to now the pace and space offenses that is so much fun for us to watch. What's the next evolution? We saw the San Antonio Spurs play big. Is there a team that wants to reformulate the NBA, find success? As you know, everybody's trying to beat the champ, and right now the champ is all about pace and space and equal opportunity offense.
Indeed. Hart the pass to Lopez. Dishes it to Clarkson. No good from outside.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
And count it, the shot is good. He'll go to the free throw line.
And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
One shot.
We're still waiting for that first miss from the line this half.
The Lakers have gone 7 of 13 in the third quarter so far, just above 50%. And the Lakers with another miss.
Boy, he hasn't given them much of anything tonight. He's got to look for his own shot a little less and keep the ball moving.
Ooh, just powered it down with both hands. You know he's not going to mess that one up.
Oh, no, not this fella. He is a superb finisher. There's the pass to Kuzma. And again, unable to change momentum here. Here's Hardaway. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. While there's a chance, let's show you the teams that have thrived on the fast break this season. The Lakers second.
I think that's what really distinguishes them offensively. They really like to get out in transition.
And this is his second trip to the line in the game.
Shooting 2.
The first one falls. And Doris, you look at the next team, and clearly the future is going to be built around Porzingis.
Well, and you think back to the Knicks mortgaging away their future at times to make a run at the playoffs, but I think it's now time to build from the ground up. They've got some draft picks to work with going forward, and though it may not be immediate, Porzingis is a nice centerpiece to build around. Well, you just look back on the history of the New York Knicks and what rich history and tradition they have as a franchise, the different eras, the different groups they've had, some of the more memorable teams in NBA history.
And now only one away from being in the penalty.
And here is Los Angeles now. McDermott with a steal.
Great execution of the double team right there, able to strip it and then get the possession. No hesitation at all in transition, and they have a huge margin in that department.
And thinking back to great players and teams from the Knicks, Doris, you can look at teams in any decade and find memorable players.
Well, listen, if you're talking about...
Exceptional play across the board. I love their tenacity, just piling it on at this point.
You know, the beauty is it hasn't just been offense, right? It's been the defensive end as well. They're firing on all cylinders right now.
And they get it. Kuzma can't get it to go.
And they've just tried everything to stem the tide here, but nothing seems to work.
Greg, I think this other team is just in a zone right now. They're clicking on the offensive end, and the defense starting to look frustrated.
There's a screen. Ball's knocked loose. And here again, the Knicks in transition. Up the court they go. And there's the basket. Whistle blows and a chance for a three-point play. Going to the line for one.
I think they'll keep going to him more and more as they look to hang on to their lead. Why not with the way this guy is shooting it?
And the Lakers, Greg, have acquired some intriguing young talent. Do you see this group blossoming into elite status?
I mean, there's still some question marks. Injuries have been an issue. I do see some all-star potential for some of their young fellas. Superstar potential, though, tougher to say. They've got something to build on, though,
Mind the
and
lanes.
that's key.
Mind the lanes. One shot.
That free throw good from Hardaway.
He's forcing the action now, finally getting to the charity stripe after no freebies in the first half.
Pass to Kuzma. Hardaway with the steal. And a fast break now for New York. Stolen. Now the Lakers on the break. Unloads from 13. No good off the front iron. Hart's gone 2 of 6 here tonight from the field. Here's Ntilikina. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
And Ntilikina, he possesses that unselfishness that really allows his guys to play their best basketball. You got to love his approach.
It's his first trip to the line.
And so far this season, it's been average at best at the line, only 71% as a shooter.
2 shots.
The first free throw is good. Doris, not too long ago, changes were made to the intentional foul rule. In your observation, has this made a positive difference?
Well, I certainly love that the away-from-the-play fouls were extended to include the last 2 minutes of each period. I don't think you should necessarily give an advantage to a team that is playing from behind by intentionally fouling a poor free throw shooter. So that's one. I do believe now the bigger issue in the NBA has become these shooting fouls where the shooter is launching himself into a defender. I think that the NBA will take a hard look at that and make any necessary change, Kev.
Totally agree, Doris. I don't want to pinpoint one player, but James Harden has made that an art form.
That's correct.
Los Angeles with another miss. The Knicks shooting wonderfully up to this point, 67%. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. And here is the shot chart as you see how things are going for Hardaway.
What a display we've seen from them so far. Every half-open look they've gotten, they've knocked down and showed no signs of letting up. Right now, they are in the driver's seat. As long as they can keep their rhythm on offense, they'll just steamroll this team the rest of the way.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
First one falls for him. Second free throw, no good. The Lakers shooting 39% from the floor since the half. Not really what they had in mind. Here's Hart, guarded by Hardaway. In the corner, it's Clarkson. Hits the three-point bomb. Clarkson's got 10 points.
Another triple, and that's been the story of this second half.
Boy, they have consistently been draining shots from deep, and that can take the heart out of an opponent.
Guys, we've seen a lot of turnovers in this one.
Yeah, focus. Just make the simple play.
Nance a screen. Kicks to Clarkson. Beasley comes with the double team. Shot clock at 5. Ball's knocked loose. And it's out of bounds. The Knicks will take it the other way.
And let's check out some stats for Hardaway. What a run he's been on over the past few weeks. Averaging about 22 points per, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. He has been terrific throughout, putting up some huge numbers offensively.
Well, and this is exactly who he is, a flat-out scoring machine. You plug him in and let him go to work.
It doesn't go for him, and it's the Lakers the other way. Here's Clarkson. He's got 10. Pass to Kuzma. Shot by Ennis. Nobody around, and it's off from three-point range. Here's O'Quinn. A rebound by the Lakers. Kuzma's got his 3rd rebound on the night. You think back to how Jeff Hornacek was as a player. Doris, you see that same demeanor on the sidelines.
Well, what you're talking about there, Kev, is sort of that gritty, no-nonsense, tough-minded approach. What Jeff Hornacek was as a player, he certainly displays similar attributes as a coach.
And that'll be the Lakers as it goes out of bounds. Lakers retain possession. .131 left in the 3rd quarter. McDermott with the double team. Pass to Hart. Lakers passing it around. Kuzma, that's good.
The defense is far too slow to close out on those 3-point attempts.
Here's O'Quinn. Make it 5 for 10 with him in that bucket.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm.
Lakers shooting 41% for the game. Clarkson dishes to Nance. Beasley against Clarkson. The pass to Hart. Feeds it to Nance. Shot clock at 6.
Oh, let's go home. That was just ridiculous.
I do not remember the last time I saw a dunk like that in a game.
I love the fact that Ntilikina is skilled at being a ball mover. He's got a pass-first mentality, and that's winning basketball.
Now here's Ennis. He's guarded closely. The Lakers have gone 9 of 10 from the line, so making the most of their chances.
And the season numbers for them at the line thus far are really poor. Something I'm sure they are making a point of emphasis.
2.
And he makes the first. And Ennis drops them both. The Knicks shooting a stellar 60% since the halftime break. Here's O'Quinn. Good work there as it goes. O'Quinn's got 14 points.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
It's hauled in by Los Angeles. Nance has got rebound number 8 here tonight in the game. Here's Hart. No good on the triple. That shot, no good. Nance with some nice D. Tipped away. A big-time effort for Porzingis, providing a lot of energy for New York. He has never been better. This is the most points he's scored in his career. And he is looking to add to it. And don't go away. We'll be right back. And we're rolling here again with the 4th quarter. Might not come down to the wire, but you never know. Ennis with the ball. And on the floor for New York here in the 4th. Burke is out there with Ntilikina. Then it's McDermott. Then there's Beasley. And it's O'Quinn in at the 5, roaming the paint. The shot's good from Bryant.
And good passing setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Good on the bucket.
Well, McDermott is working on that interior game because he has size and touch.
Now here's Ennis. McDermott with the double team. Ennis kicks to Brewer. And a miss there on the triple.
And they had some botched coverage that turned into no coverage.
And that one is good.
And it's coming easy for them right now. 5 baskets in a row in the paint.
And Los Angeles guys shooting about 42% so far. Now here's Ennis. Burke covering. Fires from 14. Again, Los Angeles.
And we always talk about making your teammate better. That assist was right on target.
Here's Beasley. And it's sent back by Bryant. For Los Angeles, they've gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the fourth quarter started. The Knicks shooting 65%, an outstanding offensive display from them. Kept alive. The shot's good from O'Quinn.
The defense not putting up any fight on the inside. They've allowed 10 straight points in the paint.
Now Ennis. Knocked loose, and it's out of bounds. The Lakers able to retain possession here. Los Angeles making a switch here. Ingram's checked in, and then for New York, Lance Thomas comes in for Michael Beasley, and it's Baker in for Ntilikina. So it's the Lakers now. Over to the left wing. Over in the corner, Zubac. It's good. The assist that time from Ennis.
And the combination of his quickness and soft touch around the rim really allows him to pull off shots like that. A lot of players don't have the reverse in their arsenal. Again and again, they're dissecting the defense and creating those high percentage looks from inside.
Ingram passes to Ennis, and Trey Burke gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul. Doris, as always, this question about resting players. Fans pay hundreds of dollars for tickets and parking and everything else, expecting the healthy guys to play. Why shouldn't there be a requirement for them to suit up?
Well, again, you have Commissioner Adam Silver attempting to address this and making it known during the finals that there would be some limitations to rest players at home because your fans obviously have more of an opportunity to see them at home. Listen, Kevin, I think fans need to be able to see the stars. At the same time, it's a strenuous 82-game stretch. Have we addressed it in terms of lengthening the season and shortening the preseason? What I do like is that the NBA is aware that there is an issue, and they are working proactively to fix it.
As is their custom. They always do that.
Correct.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
That free throw, no good. And he sinks the second. Just over 2.5 minutes played now here in the final quarter of regulation. Ennis kicks to Bryant. And Trey Burke gets the whistle that time. That's foul number 2 for him. And Doris, in the collective bargaining agreement, great news for retired players. Health insurance options, pensions will increase, tuition reimbursement fund. What does that mean to these players who gave everything they had for this great game?
You know what I love about this, Kevin? I think each of us stands on the shoulders of the people who came before us, right? Everybody is the product of all the experience that came before. So
yes.
You think back to some of the ages that shaped the NBA, the Bill Russell Celtics, the Jerry West Lakers, and then go on through the generations. It's important we acknowledge their contributions. I absolutely love what this CBA has afforded these retired players.
And I think the NBA actually has taken a lead in that among all of the national sports.
You know what, Kevin? I think the NBA, because of their great leadership, they're always opportunistic to say, how can we make it better for our players? How can we make it better for the fans?
And other leagues are following. Well said, Doris.
Yeah, sprinting end to end, but under control. That's the key.
No, exactly right, Greg. You can't go too fast. He pulled that off in brilliant fashion.
And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. O'Quinn's got 10 points in just the second half. Ball kicks to Bryant. They set the pick. Bryant is doubled. The feed to Ball. He dishes it to Brewer. Nice ball movement here by the Lakers. Shot clock at 5. Zubac makes it off the glass. For New York, they've gotten into a pretty good groove, going 6 of 10 here in the final quarter.
You know, big-time finishes. And maybe that doesn't define his game, but give him a head of steam, and O'Quinn will get the job done.
Lakers have gone 4 of 8 in this fourth quarter, shooting at even 50% from the field. Bryant is doubled. Stolen by Thomas, and out of bounds as Los Angeles gains possession. And here is Ball. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Thomas. Here's Ball. Inside. And Bryant kicks to Brewer. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. Now the Knicks with it. They're on a 15-6 run. Got a piece of it. Down low. And slam dunk by Ingram.
Chemistry at its best. An unreal alley-oop.
Yeah, you're right. The pass, the catch, the dunk. All of it perfect. And the Knicks miss again. Lakers have gone 5 of 10, 50% from the field. Got a piece of it. Doris coach Popovich down in San Antonio once said that a female NBA coach is going to happen. How much longer do you think it'll take for that to happen?
Well, I'm so grateful to Greg Popovich for getting the process that has to be part of the equation started, right? He hires Becky Hammond as the first full-time assistant in the NBA. Just like I would like to see doors open on the general manager side and let somebody start in the personnel aspect. Doors have to open before we can walk through them. It will take some time because you've got to pay your dues now as an assistant coach, but at least the process has started, and I'm so grateful to the Spurs and Pop for getting it started.
And to be quite honest, as a broadcaster, you're a pioneer from that end of it. We know that there's a lot of quality thought, male or female, but you've represented females, women very well with what you do.
I've been very lucky, Kevin, and thankful for the opportunity, certainly.
The putback. Rebounded by McDermott. McDermott's got 4 rebounds in this game. Now the dish to Brewer. Back to Ingram from past the arc. The Knicks pull it in. Out of bounds, the Lakers will take possession. Jarrett Jack is checked in for Burke. Lakers shooting 40% in the fourth. And that one goes long. New York's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. Here's McDermott. Here's O'Quinn. And there's the bucket. Staying with it on the offensive glass, getting it done. O'Quinn's got 14 points here in the second half. Ball dishes to Bryant. To the middle. Here's Zubac. That's in, coming off an assist from Bryant.
Well, you can see he's feeling it right now. Shots dropping from all over the place this quarter.
Nice shot by McDermott.
And some guys just have a nose for scoring, and this one couldn't have been any easier.
Well, really good awareness by the scorer. You're seeing an opening in the defense and exploiting it beautifully.
And Thomas over to help. Here's Ball. And the 3 off target.
Well, you see the struggles he's having getting anything to go.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously cold right now, but he's trying to find that rhythm. You've got to keep working.
2 shots. Foul. 2.
And Doris, regarding league expansion with the popularity of international basketball, you think there'll ever be a team added to the NBA that is not located in North America?
You know, this is a fascinating supposition because the game is so popular in China. The game is increasingly popular in any number of non-NBA cities in Europe, Kev. I just wonder about the logistics of it. We talk all the time about the difficulty of the travel schedule and the games in a certain number of nights. If you're incorporating overseas travel, it just seems to me that that's going to be a tough jigsaw to work out.
It could be. If you're playing on the East Coast and play in a London or a Paris, those flights probably don't measure much over 7 hours. But I get your point, and that, you know, all leagues are looking at this now very closely.
This is something the league is looking hard at. It'll be curious to see what occurs from it.
I think one of the things, too, is do we need to influence overseas markets now to find new revenues? I think that's something that all the leagues are looking at. And here is Los Angeles now. Outside Bryant. Ingram kicks to Bryant. Now here's Ingram. Not a lot of room. And Brandon Ingram, the second overall pick in 2016 out of Duke. What do you make of his rookie season?
You know, very much a work in progress. You have to remember how young he is. Didn't turn 19 until 3 months before the draft. And he's still rail thin. So he's got a chance to improve very quickly over the next few seasons as his body continues to mature.
Shooting 2, gentlemen.
And that one misses. There's one trend we've seen in the league, an emphasis on getting back defensively rather than pounding the offensive glass. I think of San Antonio a little bit when I think about that. Why is that, you think?
You know, I don't know if this is something cyclical and we'll eventually see teams emphasize getting to the offensive glass as a means to help them win. But one of the most dangerous aspects of the NBA right now is transition 3 opportunities. We're not even seeing teams get back to the hoop and build their defense out. At this point, they're sprinting to the three-point line and then building back toward the hoop. So a drastic difference. We'll see if it changes at any point.
And he might be small for a center, but boy, can he jump out of the building.
And for the Lakers, they're shooting a mediocre 41% in this one. Pass to Hart. Knocked away. And the foul on Kyle O'Quinn. That is his first foul of the game. Michael Beasley, he's checked in for New York. Ball with it, doubled by Jack. 6 on the shot clock. Zubac's the pass the ball. And a pretty unorthodox slingshot shooting form for Lonzo Ball. Greg brings it up on the left side of his face.
Yeah, but he's still got great balance, and the lower body mechanics are perfect. Good wrist action on the follow-through. Sometimes we get caught up so much in the motion to get to the shot. It's about the release point. And when you get there with this guy and the confidence with which he plays, I think it's a non-issue.
And, you know, so often we hear about a player coming out as an elite athlete, but Lonzo Ball is an elite basketball brain. I mean, this guy sees everything on the court, a terrific passer, but more importantly, he's a guy that players like playing with. He really approaches the game like a 10-year vet.
And with Lonzo Ball, you've heard all the comparisons to Jason Kidd as how he plays and views things as if it's a chess match. Greg, pretty good company to be in.
I tell you, that just shows the lofty expectations Ball has been saddled with, and he's the ultimate team player and plays to win. There are questions about his game, but what I always say is the fact that the players he plays with tend to play their best basketball, which I think is a reflection of his game.
And the first one drops. Doris, there are always rumblings about teams and players who don't like what the press is writing about them, trying to ban certain media members from the locker room. What's the danger, you think, in doing that?
To me, any credentialed media should never be banned from a locker room, from an opportunity to bring their fans closer to the sport, simply because you object either about the content of the coverage or the amount of coverage does not exclude a media member from the locker room. I think it's a very dangerous precedent, Kev.
Good point. Thomas gets the bucket. Thomas got 4 points in the quarter.
You know, guys, fast break points right now in their favor, and they're really pushing the tempo.
Bryant passes to Hart. Outside Bryant, a 3-ball. Offensive rebound.
And he's clearly been the best rebounder on the floor today.
Well, he just works so diligently inside, and the numbers back that up.
Thomas's shot is off.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Well, that's just stellar interior defense. You can't ask for anything more than that.
Hart gets the jumper from the corner to fall. New York's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. The shot's good from Ntilikina.
And you can see he's been working on that post game. Ntilikina showing some skill set down on that low block, using that length to his advantage.
Ball kicks to Bryant. Bryant is doubled. And a fast break now for the Knicks. Here's Ntilikina, and he jams it with authority.
Oh, terrific pick. Then kicks it right ahead, turning defense into offense.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect in transition, right? He knew exactly what to do after picking that ball off.
And it's ball in the corner. Or as it seems like individual all-star and MVP voting is heavily influenced by how players' teams perform. Is that a good thing?
Well, I will say this, Kevin. I have a vote in some of the postseason awards. And if, in fact, I've got two players at the same position and I need some line of demarcation to separate one from another, a team's win-loss record may influence that. Now, you might say it's unfair, but sometimes the difference between a player making it and not making it is minuscule. I would say this to you, Kevin. I would like to see all-star teams go out to 15 players as opposed to 12. There are 3 teams, first, second, and third, all NBA. Why not have 15 guys on the all-star team?
Excellent idea. Tyler Ennis is checked in for Ingram. So he hits 1 of 2 from the stripe.
Yeah, impressed with the work ethic of Ball. You can see a desire to want to be great, and he's going to continue to work on improving those weaknesses. And he's had an excellent performance overall from the field.
Ennis dishes to Bryant, and it's ball in the corner. It's a nice passing here by Los Angeles. And again, the Lakers no good. Stolen by Ball. To the left side wing. Ennis has got space, and it falls over the rim and in. The Knicks shooting has been just outrageous, 64% from the field to this point. Thomas, no luck. Lakers shooting about 40% here in the fourth quarter. Passes to Hart, fires the 3, and it's O'Quinn with the rebound. O'Quinn's got 14 rebounds for him tonight. Wow.
Wow, surprising everyone, especially the defense. Thomas with a power finish off the dribble drive.
Ball kicks to Bryant. Beasley with the steal.
Well, guys, this was never really a contest, just a total obliteration, if you will, and you can safely say mission accomplished now for the Knicks.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And so looking at their number, this will be win number 22 on the year.
Really, they had their number this season. 2 wins, a home win, and an away win.
And we watched one guy all night long, guys, and looking at the stats just confirms what a dominant game he had. What a night tonight it was for Porzingis.
There wasn't much they could do to slow him down as he was converting every good chance he got.
They set the screen. Lopez, no luck.
Yeah, you love the solid screen, but what you hate is just the inability to finish.
Well, you know, that's okay, I think. Even though they missed, they still have to be happy with the shot selection.
And saving their best for last. Tremendous run here to seal the win.
You know, this is exactly how you put teams away. Late game execution leads to a tremendous win.
To end the run, and he sinks the layup.
Oh, I love watching Brook Lopez go to work. Superb at playing to his strengths down on the box.
Rebound by Ennis. And here are the Lakers. From the wing. And he didn't get quite enough under that one.
Yeah, bad shot there. Trust is lacking. You got to be willing to make the extra pass.
I'm not sure why he doesn't continue to move the basketball. Would have served that team much better.
New York calls timeout. Guys, what's your take?
You know, this is a timeout maybe just so they can pat each other on the back because no other reason to call it.
You know, I think it's an opportunity just for the coach to see some execution. Finish this thing out the right way.
And now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Kristaps Porzingis.
And guys, no doubt who our pick was going to be. He's made everyone else on the court look like they're playing at half speed. It's been total domination, and you can't help but just sit back and admire that performance.
And as the star of this team, he knows he's going to be the object of the crowd's anger. And it's the Knicks with the ball. Goes up the baseline. Baker, no good. Now here's Ennis. So no problem for New York as they get the win. A resounding victory for them. And Greg in enemy territory, no less.
That's exactly right. But with the way they controlled the game and just completely took the crowd out of it, that's how to get it done on the road.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thank you, Kevin. KP, you guys got out on a break tonight. How did you get into transition so easily?
Yeah, we want to play faster, and that's what we try to do whenever they miss. We try to run, move the ball quick, and get easy buckets.
And you were able to beat them down the floor tonight, KP. Thanks a lot for your time. Kevin, back to you.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you later.